Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name's Sasha. I love reviewing indie eyeshadow palettes. I do a lot of makeup content here, some hauls, some unboxing. So if you guys are into that, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I love to have you guys here. And for today's video, I'm going to be doing a ranking video for palettes. And this is for the month of April. March and April. March and April. So right now we're in May. But for the month of March, it wasn't a good month for me. Like, I didn't put makeup on that much. And then from combination of March and April, 6 palettes to rank, and then I have 2 different singles like collections to rank. I'm not gonna rank them with the palettes, but I'm gonna talk about the singles towards the end. I've been using these palettes a good amount of times already, and I have opinions to share about them. And this ranking is actually one of the most difficult, probably because they're just such good palettes. They're so beautiful. And also another thing, yeah, this ranking video was really hard for me to do. My taste in makeup and eyeshadow palettes, I love indie eyeshadow palettes, so this is all indie right here I'm going to be talking about with you guys. But I just want to mention my style. Like, I love colorful palettes. I love shifty, sparkly, like blinding shadows. That's like my style. That's my style right there. And yeah, so I got a good mix of wearable palettes and that still have color, but I also have palettes that are just simply like, wow. I have too much gas. I just drank coffee and then I drank soda too, so now I'm like burping all kinds. Okay, but anyways, I know it's because my coffee was, I forgot to finish my coffee and then I had the soda for lunch. So, but anyways, let me just rank these 6 palettes for you guys. So I just wanted to mention that usually I don't mention those things. I just go with it with the ranking. Alright, so for number 6, it's going to be the Nomad Cosmetics Royal Europe palette. So this palette was gifted to me by them, and look at the packaging. They always nail the packaging and everything they do. So they always take inspiration in the places they travel, and then yeah, that's how they create their color stories and also the designs too. And then they also give back, so that's something I really like love about them. So this palette, I have a review up on this already, and I think I created like 3 eye looks on that video, and I created maybe like, I think I used it palette again like maybe 2 or 3 times in combination with other palettes though. But that's my thing. I love combining palettes, so that's just my kind of thing to do. It might be yours. I just love combining palettes. But this palette, nothing's wrong with the formula. It's very easy to use. The pigmentation on the matte, they're really pigmented. So I always say, like, just start out with a little bit with these shades. The multichromes, these are the very first multichromes they have in their brand that are true multichromes. Because all the other shimmers that they will have, they'll be more like duochromes or sparkly duochromes. And I love a lot of the shimmers they have. But these are really different from, I mean, I don't have all the Nomad Cosmetic palettes, but I have most of them. But this is definitely something new from them. So I would love to see like more multichromes or even duochromes, like more improvements like in their palettes too. So this palette, it is priced a little bit higher, so that's the thing about it. People are more comfortable with the price range because I think they're such an affordable brand to purchase from. And I would have bought this, oh my god. Oh my gosh, you guys. I intake too much caffeine. Well, anyways, I was gonna say the multichromes, they're really good. They're pigmented. They're more on the shifty side rather than sparkly. They do have a little bit sparkled. I think this one has the most sparkled out of all the multichromes. So this palette is just so easy to use. Like, if you just use like 2 shades of any of these shades right here, you could use along the columns of your, or just mix 2 shades. And I love that it has these neutral colors, so you could get a neutral color, just mix it in with another color, or this brown or this yellow. These are the nice 2 shades to mix in with the other colors, like just to have the transition or to deepen up the look. But these multichromes are really nice. They're pigmented and they're shifty, so if you turn like that, you're gonna see the shift. So basically nothing's wrong with this palette. The only thing I was gonna just mention, I mentioned in my review, I mean, we can't get everything we want in palette, right? But the color story is absolute perfection. Royal status, jewel tone palette. But I just love having a little bit lighter shades. Like, I love having like light to dark shades. I just love the variety because it just makes it easier to do looks. So nothing's wrong with this palette. That's the only thing I would have liked to see, but that's okay. I think they did a great job with this palette. There's a bee outside. Well, I don't really want to start over, but me drinking the coffee and the soda was not a good mix because I'm getting like dizzy. Okay, but let me just start over with this. I don't want to completely start over, but number 5 is by S.A. Rain Cosmetics, the Midwinter Dream palette. So it's a color palette with Brittany Huffman, and man, if you look at it, it's such a beautiful, beautiful color story. It's so pretty. It's a palette I always open because it looks so pretty to look at. And I thought this palette, it took me by surprise because I thought this was going to be my #1 favorite. Like when I first started, you know, when I first seen it, I'm like, oh yes, that's going to be my favorite, most favorite palette ever. And then when I started using it, I'm like, I feel like this is going to be my favorite. Like, I didn't quite say it. I don't think I did, but the more I used it, I mean, I love the dual chromes and multi-chromes. It's a mix of dual chromes and multi-chromes, but I was just expecting, because these shades are really deceiving, like the way they look on the pan. I have a review on my channel. I did 3 eye looks, but this one, the shifts, like how they look on my lid, they mostly lean like yellow, green, and pink. So I love pink, but you know, it was just kind of a little bit deceiving in the way, but they're all beautiful regardless. So the only thing about the mattes, I did test out the mattes. The only one I didn't get to test out was the shade transformation. That was the only one I forgot to use. But these 2 shades, they're more in the pastel vibes. This is really buildable, but that one's very pastel vibes. I had to build this one up. And this shade, actually I forgot what shade it was. I think it was this shade. I think this shade is really troubling. I think it's kind of patchy in a way because it was hard to blend out with this shade. I think this shade was fine. I did a look with you guys and I don't think I had trouble with that one. And I think you have to just be careful with this one, but this shade was fine. This one's like a very easy shade to use to either put it over your lid or in the end. Very easy. It's very pigmented. It has like little sparkles. This palette is really beautiful, but it didn't turn out to be my favorite. I will use it for sure, especially with the special shimmers. I do recommend it for the special shimmers, but the mattes, I wish the mattes were more better like they were with the Harvest Moon palette. So that's the only thing about this one. Number 4, you guys, is by Bella Beauty Bar Pastel Garden palette. So this palette, ooh, this palette is such a huge palette. I have a review on my channel. I think I created 5 eye looks, you guys. That video took me like a whole week to do everything, and yeah, that's why I kind of needed to take a break a little bit after. I took like a huge break, like I think 4 or 5 days off or something from the last weekend to almost this midweek. But anyways, guys, this palette, it is so good. It is good. It's easy to use. They're pastels. You will not get a lot of depth with this one. You could kind of darken up the look a little bit, but you won't get a whole lot of depth. There are some shades that you could just have a contrast of colors, make it seem like you have depth in your looks. So this palette is really easy to use. You have to have some patience with pastels. Some of these shades, especially the yellow shades and then these shades, I forgot which other shades I said, but you just have to like build them up more. And the special shimmers, I have to update you guys, because I did a wide base in all my eye looks for the 5 eye looks, and then after that, after I played around with this palette a few more times, I did it without the white base. Like so I did a super pastel looks, and I used some of these shimmers without the white base, and it looks holy smoly moly holy way better. Yeah, it looks way better without the white base. So my suggestion is to use a white base for the pastels. And then to clean it up, get a Q-tip and some micellar water. And it's so easy to clean off wherever you want to put the shimmers. That's the easiest way to, you know, kind of do like cut crease kind of look. Besides putting on the concealer, of course. Don't put the concealer on. Just clean it up where you want to put the shimmer. The dual chromes. There's only one multi-chrome, but so all of these are dual chrome besides one. I believe it was this one. I'm not sure. I could be wrong again. I still need to look it up, but I love Bella Beauty Bar formula with their shimmers. They are amazing, the best with their palettes. But I really love that one. It's a really nice essential palette for me. For sure, I'm going to be using that palette. It's like a pastel palette I'm going to keep forever. I have all the pastels I need. I probably don't need any more pastels, honestly. So whatever palette that comes out next, if they have pastels, the shimmers have to be different for me to pick it up. I don't know. Sometimes I'm always so tempted to pick up every palette I want to get, but sometimes I have to hold myself back. Number 3 is by Cosmic Brushes, the Muse palette. So this palette, oh my gosh, this palette, man, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Oh, you guys, I did do a video on this comparing it with the Serenity palette, and I did one eye look for each palette, and also have comparison swatches too at the same time. So I did a little thing so you guys can see the difference. So all their other palettes, the Serenity palette and the Royal Rose palette, I don't have that one, but they're all look similar because they're meant to be made, you know, to complement each other. So I'm not sure which one's going to be their next palette. I don't think they have sneak peeked it because I haven't been on Instagram that much, but this, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping for it to be something different. I don't want it to be to complement, you know, has a 4th palette with the other two, I mean. So I'm hoping it's something different. Like, they really do well with their color stories. Like, I think this is my favorite one comparing to the Serenity. The Serenity is great to have like the depth and dark kind of looks. Like, it has a good range of colors, that one. But this one, the reason why I love this one more is just the colors are soft, romantic, very easy to use. It's great for every day, great for work, great for a date night. And some of these shivers are like so pretty, a little bit sparkly, not too much. They're just wearable kind of like dual chromes, and beautiful, man. You could do like so many looks with this one. It's very versatile, very easy to use. Their matte formula, very easy to use, and I just really love this one, you guys. Really love this one. So this one, to me, this is my kind of neutral palette, honestly. I know it still has colors, so I kind of consider this as a neutral palette, but with a mix of colors. So yeah, it's one of my favorite neutral palettes. For number 2, you guys. So number 2 and 1, I was really debating, you guys. Really debating, like really hard. Like, since yesterday I was debating. I kept switching it back and forth because I just love these two so much. But I'm going to mention number 2. This one's so good. And I'm not sure, I don't think this one's available anymore, but I started using this, I think, on March. So it's the by Glaminatrix Nocturnal Palette, and I've always wanted this one. You guys, look at the color story. When I first seen this, when they first released it, I really like wanted it. That was like the time, like when I first got into indie brands, that I didn't want to spend so much. I was gonna get it, then I realized, oh shoot, shipping, man. Shipping costs too much. Like, the shipping for them, it's like $20. It's from Australia. But with the discount, I didn't know any discount codes back then. But if you're able to find a discount code, then it's like $10 off. You guys, yeah, this palette, I am very happy to have it. I've always wanted this one. It is like one of my favorite grungy color stories. It's so damn pretty. So the duochromes, their duochrome formula is more on the, they're more on subtle, but not too subtle. They are shifty, but they have like more of a sparkle effect. Not too much. It's like really hard to kind of explain, but I do have a combination of this palette with the next palette I'm going to mention right now, but I will mention it right after I mention the other one. But I love all the looks I created with this palette. This palette, it was very easy to use. The only one I had trouble with was the shade Gloom, but besides that, all the shades were really good to work with. They were easy, fun to work with. The variety of looks that you can create with this palette blows my mind. Like, this is like, it's a grungy palette, but it's like a everyday palette for me too. Like, something that's really reliable and something easy to use. And I just love all these tones. They're so unique. So their color stories, besides the Glamorous palette, I mean, I have that one too, but that one's like more repetitive with the repetitive shades. I love this one, and I have the other 2 palettes too. Oh, actually, the Nearly Neutral palette. I think that's the only one I have to work on, but I did pick up the Into the Night palette. I think that one, I can't wait to do my video on that one. That one might be my most favorite palette of the year, just based on the color story. So I'm not sure. I need to test out that palette whenever it comes. But let me just talk about the first palette, you guys. I know, I'm getting excited. I am feeling better now. Yeah. I still feel kind of dizzy. I know, I don't know why I drink coffee and soda at the same time. Not at the same time, but like after another. Because I was getting thirsty, that's why. I do have water, but... oh, you guys, I'm so bad. So anyways, this is number 1. Number 1 for me. So this is by Fantasy Cosmetica. It's the Rogue palette. This palette, I just love this one. So I have a combination of this palette on with the Nocturnal Palette. So this is going to be a new thing. I mean, it's been a thing since the beginning of January. I've been combining my favorite two palettes and making a look with them together. Oh, that's so pretty. Hold on. They complement each other so well. It's like every single time, like the other two times, the palettes, they always complement each other. That's why I love combining palettes, because sometimes they end up complementing each other. They just go together. But this one, I gotta say, all the mattes, this is like my favorite Fantasy Cosmetic palette. I have their other three as well. My second favorite, I have decided, you guys, after using this a few times already, I just love this one more than my past favorite was the Sorcerer palette. I still love that one. I love that one. So those two together, they are freaking magic. But this one, oh my god, something so different about this palette. That's why when I reviewed it and also shared all my content on Instagram, I was like, I told you guys, I love this palette. Like the tones, the colors, the shift. Fantasy Cosmetica, they do really well with their duochromes, multi-chromes. Oh my gosh, I have a thing about textures, you guys. Like if it's like buttery, I freaking love it, and I freaking love it. Like anything to do with textures, like blankets, I love soft blankets. And what else? Like anything like soft, I guess. I just have a thing about textures. If it's something dry, it's gonna, if it's something feels dry to me, like in makeup, then it's gonna kind of turn me off, honestly. But there's shimmer formula. It's really buttery. This one's like really squishy. That one, I have it in my inner corner. I've used it so many times as in my inner corner. It's just so pretty. Let me see if I can turn down the light right now. Oh my gosh. Well, this is my lighting without the, actually, well, that's completely dark. And this is just window light. But that's so pretty. It looks so glowy, especially during the nighttime. Alright, well, yeah guys, I'm too excited. Okay, but these shades, they're so damn special. All the mattes, they're so easy to work with. And that's like a first. Well, I think the Bard palette, all those mattes were easy to work with too. But the mattes on these is really good. The 4 shades. I think the 3 are duochromes or multi-chromes. I don't remember, but but they're so beautiful. So here's the shift. So pretty, guys. You won't regret getting this one. If you love purples and blues, then you will love this one. There is this shade here. It's more in the, like it's a brownish green. I consider that almost like a neutral shade. But yeah, you get like a little bit green. So it's like if you love purple, mostly purples and a little bit more greens, and of course the blues from the matte, then you will love this palette. Like purple, blue, and greens. Like those are my favorite color. That's why I love this palette. And the shimmers are very, very beautiful. So for the Nocturnal palette, my lid, I'm wearing Milky Way. Milky Way. So pretty. And on this mid to end of my lid, I'm using from the Rogue palette the shade Deception. And then for the mattes, I use a mix of the shade Obscurity on most of this lid, and then I faded out with the shade Stout from this other palette, this shade right here, the mid. Oh my gosh, blending that with those two colors, it made it like a nice greenish kind of look. Like it blended so good together, like those two different mattes. And then let's see, what else did I use? On the bottom, I used this shade Subtle on the bottom. And then I just deepen up my ends of my bottom of my eye with the shade Witching Hour. So that's how I created this look, and I love it. Very pretty. So Milky Way, man. Milky Way is so special. And you guys can see, yeah, they are actually pretty shifting. Like not too much, but they have sparkles to them, especially with Milky Way. So those are the differences. Ooh, they complement each other so well. All right, well, let me clean them off my hands, but I love those two palettes so much. Let me just talk about some singles real quick. Just give them little shout outs. My opinions are not going to change about this. So this is from the Bella Beauty Bar, the Make Your Own Magic palette. So these are singles. So it's a bundle of 9. And the price is pretty up there. Like really up there. And you guys, if you guys haven't seen my review, So these are handcrafted shades, and I think normally they don't handcraft them themselves, but I think this time they did. And all these shades, I already said in my video, all these shades besides the holochromes, the holochromes are very smooth, perfect formula. So I highly recommend those. If you guys love those shades, you guys, I did a lot of swatches in my video, so be sure to check out the video. I also did eye swatches too. So I did 2 different videos for this palette. I feel like it really needed, like I really needed to do 2 videos. I didn't want to make it into one because I think it would have been too long. That's the reason why. Yeah, so I highly recommend the holochromes, but all these shades, they're on the flaky side. But the thing is, my opinions pretty much are gonna stay the same. I already used all the shades as looks. Actually, no. Actually, yeah, I already used all the shades as looks. And what was I gonna say? Well, the shifts, oh my gosh, I love Bella Beauty Bar formula. Like, besides this one, it's not my favorite formula because they're more on the flaky side. Like, they're so flaky, but I'm able to work with them with, of course, glitter glue. You need glitter glue with this one. You just have to have a lot of patience if you don't mind that. Like, as long as, if you don't mind and if you're not in a hurry, then I think you'll love this one. If you love those super special shifty, sparkly, like galaxy type of looks. Oh my gosh, you guys, these shades are really beautiful. I think if these shades weren't as flaky, if they were a little bit like toned down with flakiness, this, and if I were to rank this palette along with the other palettes, then I think this one would have won. This one would have been up there, #1 for sure. But that's why I want to kind of like, I don't want to rank it with the palettes. I just want to update with you guys. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. I just wish they make them smoother. Hopefully they take that feedback in. If they, next time they handcraft the shades, hopefully they make them a little bit, like press them in more, like don't make them so flaky. But the holochromes though, excellent like formula. Highly recommend those. I have a combination of symbols here, but I'm going to be talking about real quick. Electrum Cosmetics is one of my favorite single indie brands, and they're also the very first single indie brand that I purchased from too, so it kind of makes them extra special. So I have other singles here. I just ordered another single eyeshadow palette just last night because I need more room, you guys. I need more room. So I have a combination of 2 different brands, so ignore these. If you guys want to know, they're from Divina Roses, Pastel Roses. So all of these right here, from these 2 to point on, they're from Electrum Cosmetics. But my new ones, I think I got 6 shades or 7. I got 7 shades. Yeah, I got 7 shades. I have a video of that. I did only one eye look, but I wasn't able to use all the shades and looks yet, but I was able to use this shade right here. Oh, you guys. I lost my magnetic tool, you guys. I had to buy another one, but I used the shade Dark Magic. It has just a all over eye kind of look. I didn't use any mattes. I don't think I used mattes, but I just put it all over my eyelid. I went out that day. I actually went out like a lot of days, the past few days. But you guys will see why in my next video. But I put this on and I felt like I was gonna go to a party. Like, it was so glowy, super special. Oh, you guys, this shade is so pretty on its own. I feel like a Bratz doll. I'm wearing a Bratz shirt, but I felt so pretty with that shade. Like, Electrum Cosmetics, they do really well with their shades. She handcrafts them too, but she does them really well. She does have some shades. Few of these shades were on the flaky side too, but they're not like bad flaky. They're workable flaky, like flaky that I don't mind. Okay, and what other shade did I use? Yeah, I think I used Affiliate and Fantastic in another look. You guys seen that? I think on, no, I at least shared it in my story. I haven't shared it as a post yet, but I was hoping I could share it as a post eventually. I know I'm a little behind in my post, but yeah, so far, you guys, I will never complain about their formula. I mean, as long as they stay consistent, of course. And like, they're one of my favorite brands. If you want special shades, you guys, I highly recommend them. Anyways, guys, that's all I have to say about the palettes, the singles. I have a lot to say, I guess. It was a fun video to talk with you guys. So let me know which palettes, if you have any other palettes that I didn't even mention, which palettes are your favorites right now, like new favorites, or which palettes, like what you guys think about the palettes I talked about, like how you feel about them. I know the ones I rank lower might be your most favorite palette, but that's okay, guys. That's okay, that's all. That's what's so fun about makeup. Makeup is so magical. You could do so many things with makeup. Everyone has different opinions. You could do different looks. Love makeup, guys. But yeah, guys, so that's gonna be it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.